Welcome back to November Bible Study Month. Today's resource, I believe, is one of the most valuable resources that we can have. More so, it's coming from the approach to Bible study of actually how do you do Bible study. Now, I'm a really big fan of using the inductive Bible study method when we study the Bible. And here is a really great resource that will help you understand what that actually means, all the components that go into Bible study. It's called How to Read the Bible for All It's Worth by Gordon Fee and Douglas Stewart. And I will say that if you're the kind of person that doesn't know where to get started or what it means even to study the Bible, if you've never been given some kind of formal training in this and you're just wondering how to start, this is one of the resources that can help you out the most. I'm going to be talking about some other ones like this coming up in the future, but this is a really practical understanding of how to study the Bible. So it'll go through things like, what does it mean? What is an exegesis? What does it mean to ask questions of the text? What is hermeneutics? What is historical background? What does that actually mean when we're talking about that? And many other sort of Bible study related topics, even like different forms of literature. The Bible is comprised of many different forms of literature. It's also comprised of different forms of literary types, which is two different kinds of things as well. And there's rules and there's guidelines to that. For instance, I would read the comic section of the newspaper different, and I would understand that differently than I would medical dictionary. Why? Because those are two completely different pieces of literature, different forms of literature. So it's safe to say that when we read poetry out of the Old Testament, that it's very different from apocalyptic literature that we see in the New Testament, or that's even different from prophetic literature, or that's even different from historical narrative. All those kinds of things. There's a world of mechanics and tools when it comes to studying the Bible. And a lot of you may be asking the question, where do I go to find out or to at least to be introduced to those things? So this is one of the most valuable resources I can point you to. I would say it's worth the investment. I don't think that you can probably find a website necessarily like this. We will go over some Bible study websites, but this is a more or less an actual book that I would point you to help you get some resources. And like I said, we're going to be talking about some of these types of resources now in the next coming days, but for now, I hope this helps you, and we will talk about more of this in the next videos to come.